Welcome back to another episode of ROC Boys Football. Today we are doing a little mock the mock looking at Joe Marino's 2022 NFL mock draft, the first round. He just put this one out today, February 7th, after the Senior Bowl, talking a little bit about what guys impressed and what guys did not impress. Before we get into the video, we appreciate all the support we've gotten on the channel lately. This has been super cool for my brother and I to just kind of engage with you guys, and the support is very much appreciated. Without that being said, let's get into some football here. Without that being said, I don't even know if that makes any sense.
With that being said,
Jacksonville Jaguars go and get Evan Neal, our offensive tackle one. I like this pick a lot. Yeah, I think it's a great fit. I still have Hutch as my number one guy on the big board, Evan Neal at 3. But it makes sense. You got to protect Trevor Lawrence. He's the future of your franchise. Absolute dumpster fire it's been. Go protect him.
Yeah, I have nothing to add to that. Just same thoughts.
Aiden Hutchinson. There's the Lions are sprinting this card to the table. I mean, they already have the jerseys printed. I think that's a lock. I mean, if Evan Neal goes 1, Hutch is the obvious pick for the Lions. It's just a great fit all the way around. Here's where I have a little bit of question marks. Kayvon Thibodeau recently has been apparently his stock's been clearly dropping since his true freshman year at Oregon, where he's kind of like considered that lock 2022 number 1 pick. Injuries and now some maybe character / explosive concerns, which I don't get. Dale, you're the Texans here. Where are you going with this 3rd overall pick here?
Yeah, I mean it's really hard to pass up on Kayvon. I still think he's incredible talent. Was great in college. I don't think you saw effort problems or will for like that. He played hard. I felt like and was dominant. I don't think it's crazy to pick Kyle Hamilton because frankly, I think you can make an argument for him being the best player in the draft. So I think you can go either way.
See,
I'm not going to quibble here.
In the comment section, I've been engaging with one of our people who watch the show, and they say you maybe go up and get either Ickey or Charles Cross, your favorite tackle, and then you look to shop Laramie Tunsil, and then maybe even shop to trade down a few picks. Laramie Tunsil doesn't seem long for the Texans. The Texans are the most important thing they can do is get draft capital, and they just have so many problems on this team. Trade Laramie Tunsil, get some draft capital, get younger. Trade out of this pick and try to get Ickey or Charles Cross later in the top 10. That's all interesting things. I think the Texans are high candidates to trade out of this pick, though, because the most important thing they can do is just get younger and more.
Yeah, they're not a player away. That's for sure.
Yeah. Jets go Kyle Hamilton. This is a safe pick.
I think people are out of their minds if they don't think the Jets are picking him or Stingley. And I would pick Hamilton.
And then Hamilton's
better, but.
Yep, I agree. I think
they were so bad in the secondary.
Unless somebody's falling, like maybe Thibs falls. Kyle. I mean, it's a pretty much as close of like a lock as we've seen to like a guy's going to come in and be like really productive and a solid player for the Jets.
Yeah, it fits the need. It fits best value. I think it's perfect.
Yep, and a position in need. It literally checks all the boxes. Then the Giants go get Ickey Ekwonu, who I think is a great pick. You stick with Andrew Thomas at left tackle. I think Ickey can be an elite right tackle. If Ickey's there for the Giants at 5, I think they're sprinting that card right in. I think that fits what they're trying to do. Charles Cross is also a consideration here. That's for sure. It just seems like Ickey's a little bit better fit for the Giants. What are you thinking?
Yeah, it depends. I mean, I think Andrew Thomas has stepped it up, and he's looking like he might work as a fine left tackle for that team. I know it was a slow start for him, obviously, but it seems like he's picking it up. And you think Andrew Thomas is going to play left, or you want more versatility? I think Ken McClowney makes a ton of sense because he does add the elite run blocking that maybe Charles Cross does not have.
And the Panthers go Malik Willis at 6. If the Panthers
this is your guy. You're a big Malik Willis.
Yeah, if the Panthers go quarterback, I think Malik Willis could be the pick. Again, I think it's a reach. I'm not taking a top 6 pick and taking any of these quarterbacks, especially with kind of what we saw at the Senior Bowl with no one. I mean, Matt Corral probably won the Senior Bowl by just not showing up. because nobody was really that impressive. That being said, Malik Willis, Sam Darnold, they picked up the 5th-year option, so you maybe start Sam Darnold for one more year. Then Matt Rule might just be fired, but I think if Matt Rule picks a quarterback, he guarantees himself another year, which is, I mean, that's just smart by Matt Rule there. And Malik Willis has the highest upside. I think that's
my problem with Malik Willis is it seems like had a lot of preseason hype. People seem to forget about him in the season. I don't think he played outstanding this season. And then it's like the hype is coming back out for the Senior Bowl. And I always get a little wary of picking guys who kind of that's the trajectory where really good preseason, maybe the season didn't, I mean, he wasn't a Heisman guy. I think people are kind of thinking he might be in that conversation. Yeah. And then now people are starting the momentum for Malik Willis is picking back up. So I don't know. I think you're really picking him high here. I do 100%. Think he makes sense for like him or Corral, but obviously Malik Willis has way more talent than Corral. So I think it's not crazy to say he'll be the first quarterback off. I just really think this is high for him.
Yeah, I think you just go to Charles Cross here, personally.
Yeah, I agree.
Tackle there. See what Sam Darnold does. And if you're horrible with Sam Darnold again, now you're picking with a Rock at left tackle, and then you go get Bryce Young, CJ Stroud. You got the quarterback class is much, much better in 2023.
Yep.
Giants at 7, go David Ajabo. Too high. It's too high for a player that is.
I know that's not your thing.
He's not really my guy. I think he's a very exciting prospect. Like, dude's has the highest ceiling in the class. Twitched up, 100-meter state champ in track in high school. Didn't even start playing football until 5 years ago. You all know the backstory of David Ajabo, but just struggles setting the edge, playing the run game. And
it's tough to pass up Jermaine Johnson here. I think he's so good. He was great at the Senior Bowl, and I don't know. I think I don't know why people are so low on him. Like why he can't be a top 10.
I think he's my edge 3 now. Like
I think he is easily. I don't even think it's close.
I listened to let's see if Jordan Davis goes. That's horrible. That's a really bad pick.
It's too high. I still have Jordan Davis as D tackle 1, but I think he's more of a 15 to 25 kind of.
I don't even think he's that. I mean, at the end of the day, he's the best nose run stopper in the class, and that's hard to argue with. Dude's an absolute house, but are you gonna really use a top 8 pick to address that when you could get a top in the second round? And this team was the worst besides the Lions in pass rush too. So like, yeah, they struggle against the run, but they also really struggle against the rush and the passer, and this is not going to do it. How do you play good defense in the NFL these days? You win rushing the passer with 4 guys. I mean, it's like.
What would you think about David Ojabo at 8 if Jermaine Johnson goes inside the top 7?
Him or Karlaftis? I have Karlaftis over Ojabo. That being said, I'm not like going to war for it because I think.
Yeah.
I listened to a guy talk about edge prospects, and he says like power is like a thing you want to see in prospects because you know that's going to translate. Like power can win when you're just relying on like the speed and bend, like that sometimes doesn't necessarily translate all that well. Power is always going to be there if you can collapse the pocket, and George Karlaftis unquestionably has NFL level elite power in his hands.
That's true.
Broncos go Kenny Pickett. I'm not going to gripe about quarterbacks. You could pick, literally could be Sam Howell, it could be Matt Corral. I'm leaving that up for the GMs. Like, which quarterback you think's going to fit what offense you want to run. It's just.
This is a weird year because this is probably the worst quarterback class I can remember in a really long time. I think you could argue there's not a single guy who in a normal year is a first-round talent. And I don't think that's a crazy thing to say, but.
Yeah.
So it's like interesting that obviously teams need quarterbacks every year, but it's like I'd be shocked to see 2 go in the top 10.
I necessarily wouldn't be shocked because you got to keep swinging the bat. If you don't have a quarterback, you got to keep swinging for one and getting quarterback on rookie deals. If you can hit on one, good on you. But there's also just so much talent. I don't know. I don't love it either.
Tough.
Don't love it either. Jermaine Johnson, 10. He's our guy. That's a good pick for the Jets.
Oh yeah.
He's good in the run. He's got great length, power.
Granted, if it shakes out like this, they could pick Stingley too, and I don't think that's crazy. They need that for help.
Very true. Very, very true. And then since you went Hamilton there, I think I lean Jermaine Johnson. I think that's a good pick. Matt Corral to the football, Commanders, Commies.
It's a QB happy draft.
Yeah, and like it might be like that. And that's the exciting part about not having like that set quarterbacks are going where is like you just don't know where these guys are going to go. Like Matt Corral's probably my QB1 ish, maybe. I don't know. I really haven't decided yet.
I don't know. The more I think about it, the more I want to say just if you're going to take a first round quarterback, like if Malik Willis works out, he's a true first rounder. I think you could argue the other guys, even at their best, are maybe venturing into like late first round territory.
And it's so tough because like we're traditionally like teams that are picking like last year you think of like the top 2 picks, the Jets and the
it was obvious, yeah.
But they also in the Jags, like they didn't have that team around them. Like there's so many teams in the top 10, like the Broncos, 11 with Washington. These are good football teams that just need a quarterback and they're just getting shadowed. Yeah. I think they're candidates for free agent guys because like if I'm a Aaron Rodgers, a Russell Wilson, a Derek Carr, like I want to go to a team like this that has a very, very good team around them.
The Broncos are for sure. I think Washington maybe is more of a draft.
Broncos are going with Rodgers. It's just like they're not doing all that for nothing.
Rodgers or bust, that's for sure.
Vikings go get Stingley. I think George Karlaftis definitely could be the pick here. That being said, I think the Vikings need an edge guy. I think Karlaftis is the best on the board.
Yeah, but that's like Stingley or Karlaftis. Come on.
Yeah, and then
Stingley's great.
I'm not arguing it too much. The ceiling that if he can find that, as Joe Marino mentioned, the ceiling if he can find the 2019 form is gross. I mean, it's the best cornerback we've seen in our lives at the college level. Maybe Jalen.
Yeah, I saw someone comment that he's not the best corner, but like if he plays 2019, he's the best corner in like the last 10 years.
And he might be a top 10 cornerback immediately in the league. He probably would be. Browns go get Jamison Williams. I'm more of if you want to figure out what you're going to do with Baker Mayfield, go get a wide receiver who's going to be available to start the season. That's Garrett Wilson. Even if Jamison Williams is fully healthy, I'd still go Garrett Wilson.
I have a Garrett and I have a Olave Garrett both over him. So you know what I thought.
Even with Jamison Williams healthy, we saw more polished route running, the ability to get separation from Garrett Wilson, from Chris Olave. I'm really interested to see Olave's 40 at the combine because apparently he's got burners that people just don't appreciate in that straight line speed.
It's just too smooth, so people think he's slow.
Yeah, so people go like, oh, he's not as fast, but he's just a super polished route runner.
Like a glider.
This dude can fly, man. Ravens go get Trevor Penning. I think that's a reach for them. I get what they're trying to do and like build that nasty offensive line and get that running game going again. I would just go like a Kenyon Green though.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. I think
prospects, more blue chip.
Trevor Penning's just he's not the 14th play. Like that's way too high, I think.
Yeah, that's a good point. He's not the 14th best player. Kenyon Green and Linderbaum are both top 14 guys on our big board.
Yeah, I don't think he's close to 14. So, well, whatever.
And I don't know when you're making draft picks, you gotta weigh like, yeah, Trevor Penning's ceiling with that frame is high.
I also think people are overlooking the fact that when he played the Power 5 teams, he really didn't dominate. That's super. Like Iowa State, he had a couple holding penalties. It was just, I mean, if you're Northern Iowa, you need to take those opportunities and kill it, and he just didn't, in my mind. So,
and he wasn't like overly impressive at the Senior Bowl. He was up and down.
It's just Rusty is doing WWE stuff.
I wonder what the coaches like fall for that, where it's like he's just like kind of like this persona of like, oh, I'm a freak, like I'm a monster, and I watch horror shows before. He like watches horror movies at night before games.
Oh, that stuff's the worst.
Yeah, he seems a little like right.
If you play well, who cares if you're watching cartoons? It doesn't matter.
And I don't even hate Trevor Penning. It's just that's high. 15, Ahmad Gardner to the Eagles. I like that pick. CB2 on our board. desperately need help with on that other side with Darius Slay, Ahmad Gardner.
Good pick. Good value.
Kenyon Green at 16. Jason Kelsey.
I like it.
Out. Who's the
Brooks just retired.
Brooks just retired, so I don't hate that pick, but I'm looking more like a Nakobe Dean or Devin Lloyd because they desperately need linebacker help. And Carl Loftus is on the board, so it's like you. But I like Kenyon Green. Kenyon Green's the best interior lineman outside of Tyler.
You're getting great value there. I think I do kind of get you that the need is maybe lesser, especially when there's good guys on the board, but still.
Wait, Charles Cross is still on the board?
Yeah.
So the Chargers just have like the two best young offensive tackles in the league now with Rashawn Slater and Charles Cross. Nice. That's a lot. It's a great pick for them. That's a great pick for them. Who was on the other side of Slater? It wasn't Brian Bulag. I forget his name. I forget who it was, but he was horrible. He was really
Storm Norton.
Yes, yeah.
He struggled bad against Crosby. And
so now you go get Charles Cross, who's going to be like a really good tackle and
tighten it up. Yep. What does this guy do? Just not to jump to, but like, what is this guy not having Olave or Garrett Wilson pick right now and having two wideouts?
Some people like the flash.
That's crazy.
I like the wide receiver.
This is an internet pick. Like, this is just like, what are you just gonna like be a wild contrarian just to do it? Like, we all know who the top dogs are at wideout. It's the two Buckeyes,
and they're still on the board.
Yeah, Kane's the Michigan man to say it, but
I agree. Traylon Burks is. I like the wide receiver pick.
Burks is good. It's just God, Olave and Wilson are incredible.
Is Carl Loftus off the board? Or is he just going Trayvon Walker over Carl Loftus?
Just going.
I don't like you. Definitely don't like. I like Trayvon Walker more than you, and I don't like this pick. So it's like.
No, I don't care for it.
Trayvon Walker. I like. He's a good athlete. He's very, very powerful. Just that upside. Like, he just wasn't like that productive. I think he only had like 6.5 sacks on the year. Carl Loftus offers much more upside from the pass rush. I also think those linebackers are in play there. So I just think there's a lot of better prospects at a lot of more holes for the Eagles than Walker. Steelers, Tyler Linderbaum. A lot of people mock him or a lot of people mock a quarterback to the Steelers. They go get the best center in the draft. Wherever Tyler Linderbaum goes, he could go 5 to the Giants. Okay.
Yeah, he's good. He's really good.
He's really good at football. So, Patriots go get Devin Lloyd. I think a wide receiver is the pick here for the Patriots. Jacoby Myers is kind of not a true wide receiver one. I think,
especially in this situation, right? When you got two really elite guys falling, like, just take them.
Yeah, and I also have Nakobe Dean over Devin Lloyd, so it's just I don't love the pick.
Yeah, no, I don't.
Andrew Booth to the Raiders. That's a okay pick. Like, they've been in shambles with cornerbacks, and they just missed on guys like Damon Arnett, no longer with the team. They go get Andrew Booth. I'm more of a Roger McCreary guy, Trent McDuffie guy than an Andrew Booth guy. That being said, the Andrew Booth, the smoothness that you see in Andrew Booth I'm okay with that. Like, I'm not gonna fight that hard like I would for like wide receiver position ranks.
Yeah, if you want to play a heavy zone defense, I think Andrew Booth makes a ton of sense. I don't think he's quite the man cover guy that the other two you mentioned are, but he could be a really, really good zone guy.
Zion Johnson goes to the Cardinals. After Kenyon Green, I think he's the next best interior lineman.
Well, after Linderbaum.
Yeah, so like Tyler, he's the number 2 guard, and Zion Johnson, I think, is going to try to play center. He's taking a bunch of center snaps at the Pro Bowl or the Senior Bowl. And he's a good player. Like, I like the prospect, but like we're about to see a lot of better prospects come off the board than Zion Johnson that have much higher positional value. That being said, I'm a fan of Zion Johnson. So,
no, it's a fine pick.
Cowboys get to steal the draft as of right now. George Karlaftis.
I like that pick.
Falls to 24. He's a
especially if you think they're going to end up cutting DeMarcus Lawrence or
He's a
not
top
paying
15
Randy Gregory. So
He's a top 15 prospect. You're getting him at 24 at a high positional value spot. It's a good pick. It's a good pick for the Cowboys. Oh my God. Devontae Wyatt. I would have gone McDuffie or McCrary here. Preferably McDuffie in the zone heavy offense the Bills like to run. But Devontae Wyatt showed out in the Senior Bowl. Just
you
absolutely.
think he's going to be I think first round is crazy talk for Devontae Wyatt. But
The thing with Devontae Wyatt that I think you're missing because you didn't really watch much of the Senior Bowl is that, and this I listened to a podcast about it, and I think I like the argument where it's like the scheme that Georgia ran was like a lot of like they didn't Devontae Wyatt, Jordan Davis, their roles weren't necessarily to wreak havoc and pad the stats. That was the linebackers' jobs, and obviously the linebackers did a very good job of that.
yeah,
Mostly because Devontae Wyatt and Jordan Davis did their job really well.
that's fair enough. I might have to rewatch him. I might just be being like a cunt going against the grain too hard. I got to give it another.
When you got to see Devontae Wyatt go on one-on-ones, I heard, and I as much as the film I watched, I didn't watch every single rep. Apparently, he won like every single rep at the Senior Bowl. Like, apparently, really, really good to the point where I don't think he ended up playing in the game.
I just decided I no longer have an opinion on Wyatt. I'm starting fresh. I have to. It seems like
I
I'm
don't
just
know
like
the film and like the roles that they played necessarily give you the best.
That's part of mine. I feel like Jordan Davis was kind of dominating a fair amount. You saw a lot of them, and I don't know. I'll have to just. I'll be willing to give it a new shot because
re-eval. Garrett Wilson, number 1 wide receiver, falls to the Tennessee Titans. Good pick. That's good value.
It is to an extent, but like, yeah. What else do they need? They probably pick a Nakobe Dean or something. But
I mean, their roster is really good. It's like as good as they were. They were the number 1 seed in the AFC with Ryan Tannehill as quarterback and Derrick Henry hurt. Like, it's a good team. It's a well-coached team. Yeah. It's a good team. That just doesn't have the quarterback to make it happen in the playoffs, I don't think, personally. But you surround a guy like Ryan Tannehill with enough weapons. Derrick Henry.
Yeah, Julio Jones didn't give him much this year, obviously.
And Derrick Henry was hurt, and then A.J. Brown was also banged up and couldn't really stay healthy.
Probably need another
The story
guy.
of the Tennessee Titans year was like they never had those 3 guys on the field for any – I think it was only like 200 snaps total that all 3 of them played together on the field. Before the playoffs, which is just not enough time to gel. We saw that against the Bengals. Garrett Wilson is just another weapon in Ryan Tannehill's toolkit. And that's good. I mean, Garrett Wilson's, how we love him. I don't know. The Bucs are in a weird spot. Bucs are in a super weird spot where they just, without Tom Brady, it's like you got to, and then Chris Godwin tore his ACL and I was a free agent. Antonio Brown leaves with the shirt off. There's a lot of question marks on the offense side of the ball. And you go kind of get a tweener D lineman who we're not high on. He's not going to be in my top 40, maybe top 30. He's not going to be in my top 30 big board. I don't love DeMar.
Yeah, it's like I'm not in love with drafting the tweener, especially like. Because again, where are you going to win? That's what it always comes down to for me. What's going to be your tools?
Yeah,
I think he was good. He's like good enough at both to be fairly productive in college. But I think,
and like this is the problem is like Leo's powerful. Yeah, he's powerful, but he's not super powerful. Where he's gonna that's gonna win. Like a Karl Aftis is gonna win the NFL. And he's also like not athletic. Where like David Ajay was gonna win as an athlete. He's just like he's caught in between, and it's just like I don't know if there's a spot where he's gonna be able to win. That's kind of my problem with him. No. I'm not picking a.
No, she's like, what do you say about that?
Guy who hasn't put out like any great film. I'm not gonna like totally bag on him as a prospect because like I want to see how this guy does in the NFL. But like, okay, you draft him as a tackle. I have serious question marks. One, can you just stay healthy with the frame? Like your body's not meant. I'm no like doctor, but your body's not meant to carry that much mass and stay healthy. We're seeing that problem already rise with Mekhi Becton. Daniel Flawley has that to an even greater degree. Can't really get out of his stance that well. I feel like he's gonna get beat by some speedier, bendier guys quite often. And then you play him at guard. I just don't know if you can play with a low enough pad level. And get out of stance with any sort of explosiveness. I hate this.
That's a tough one when you got an Olave on the board. You got a Dotson on the board. It's like You got some positions they really need. So what? You're gonna tell me they need to jump up and take an offensive tackle, especially when you got guys who are like Nicholas Petit-Frere, Sean Ryan, Bernie Ryman, guys who I think
I hope Bernie Ryman is this next pick.
it won't be because the people don't like Bernie Ryman, but they're all wrong. I mean, I guess it makes sense because like someone has to pick him, but
yeah,
he's not going to be here, obviously, and they're going to pick a lineman. So this is just a weird draft. So it's like
if you're at 29 and Chris Olave is there, you go with him.
Pick him, but he's not going to be there. It's irrelevant.
Next? I want to try to guess these next couple picks. I'm trying to go edge maybe. Who's our favorite edge guy who hasn't been picked? Okay, I like this pick. We actually mocked him in one of our picks. I like this pick a lot. Daxton Hill's my safety too outside of Kyle Hamilton. Dude's just really, really good at man coverage. Played nickel at Michigan. We talked a lot about him on the channel. Good prospect.
From a great football tradition.
Bengals, they have to go tackle. Have to. Unless I think they're a candidate to trade. I don't know if they're going to get a tackle who's going to be able to come in right away and be really good. But if they do, Trent McDuffie. Okay. I like Trent McDuffie. That's okay.
It's not. I think they could use another corner.
That's okay.
I think they have really elite safeties, but yeah, they could probably be better at corner. He's good.
Trent McDuffie is really, really good. I think they're a candidate to maybe trade this pick away and get a tackle because Joe Burrow can't be taking that many hits. I wonder if the Texans and Bengals can work something out. You give them Laramie Tunsil and the Bengals give you 31.
That makes sense.
Yeah, something like that because I think they need a stud left tackle.
If they get a stalwart left tackle, like that's a good team.
And they're not going to be able to get one at 31 if they're top.
Because Burrow's being held back viciously by the offensive line.
Yeah.
Gotten sacked a zillion million times.
Lions go with Jahan Dotson.
It's good. It's a good pick, I think.
Yeah, it's a good pick. He's our wide. No Drake London. Interesting. I like Jahan Dotson a lot. They say he isn't the biggest receiver, but he's like 5'11", like 5'10", 5'11". Like he's not like super, super small where it's a big time concern. But he is, as he said, an explosive playmaker who gets separation and has a tremendous hand. I mean, he catches everything thrown his way. He has burners to win over the top. I might go
good after the catch guy, which you need when you have Goff.
Yeah, so. I might go Drake London here just because I think it might be a little bit better of a fit with Amon-Ra St. Brown in the inside.
Man, I get the fit, but I just think the player's good.
Yeah,
I just think Dotson's like better. I always thought, but who knows?
And that'll do it for the first round mock. Joe Marino. I've listened to him. He's a smart guy. We don't necessarily see completely eye to eye on some of these prospects. But hey, that's what draft season is all about. You really never know.
Olave falling to 29, asinine.
The biggest picks there, the Olave falling, George Karlaftis falling, Charles Cross falling, Traylon Burks going this early, Trevon Walker going this early with the Karlaftis on the board, and then I think the worst pick here is Daniel Falele at 28ish.
Yeah, that's a weird one.
I don't even know if you use a day 2 pick on this guy because it's just there's so many question marks that you don't want to miss on.
And I get that, like, it's not a great after the top 3, you kind of, there's nobody who I'd say is like a perfect talent anymore. But I don't know. Like when you look at like a Petit-Frere, you look at a Bernie Ryman, I feel like you just see like potential to be really, really good. And I don't know where you saw Falele and think, yeah, that's going to be an all-pro tackle possibly.
Like if exactly what you're saying, I have maybe a little different angle on it. Is like if you're looking to draft a project tackle, which Daniel Falele clearly is, go get Bernie Raymond. Like,
yeah,
he's still like converting and filling out that frame from being a tight end. He's got tremendous athleticism, up and down Senior Bowl week, but he's very good in the game. I thought he's a much better prospect in project tackle than Daniel Falele is, who I think will struggle to stay healthy. I have a lot more question marks on Daniel Falele than I do Bernie Raymond.
And just at that size, you don't see a ton of success there. You just don't historically.
And that'll do it. That'll do it for a little mock to mock first round mock draft from Joe Marino. Appreciate him putting out this content, letting us talk about it. And appreciate you guys for always rocking with the ROC Boys. We'll be back with draft content later. Peace.